Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear from our host, Andy Albright.
Thank y'all. Y'all grab a seat. We got a lot to cover today. We're right in the middle of a very intensive training.
Yeah, we are.
AIT, Albright Intensive Training, Alliance Intensive Training. And but it's really been fun getting to know some more people, a little bit more intimate. Like previously, we did the intense training. I think we had over 100 people here. So y'all, we got like 20 some people here. And I'm glad you're here because don't get me wrong, the 100, it was fantastic because we put in so much time. I get to shake a lot of hands. But a smaller group I get to see. And it was kind of a weird opportunity because we had so much going on, and then Cabo coming up and conventions, you guys coming in. I understand it was a big sacrifice. Appreciate you being there. I hope y'all feel like you got your money worth so far? Yeah! I really think so. That recruiting was so much fun. I was laughing so hard. I've already been texting back and forth with some of these guys, but I'll tell you what, I'm still messing them up. So the biggest thing for me, when I got into business was seeing other people successful that I thought were like me, or maybe I had something on them, like I could do more than they can do in a certain area. But it was just a kind of a comparison thing. And I've heard other people say, don't compare. Well, I'm a big comparer. Or another way to put it, I'm an example person. Like you tell me how to do a math equation. I said, just show me how to do one. Just give me an example. So I always just say, give me an example of somebody doing it. You know, it's like you got a redneck doing this thing. And I never forget, we was in Chapel Hill, which I don't like to go there, but I was in Chapel Hill at a meeting. And I met this guy. Somebody, ABN or Fitz or somebody text me. But this guy, he was an old country boy like me, but he just couldn't keep his slobber in his mouth. You know what I'm talking about? And he'd be coming out of his mouth, you know. And I'd be like, and he was about 40, he's like mid-40s. He had braces, mid-40s, and braces, slobber coming out. I guess he finally got enough money to get braces. He had that slobber coming out of his mouth. And then they told me how much business he did, how much money he made, and I was like, hot damn. Yeah, my boy made that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no offense to my boy. He's up there in Danville, Virginia, if that tells you anything. If you don't know Danville, Virginia, you don't know what I'm talking about. But I mean, he's redneck, and I was like, I'm redneck, you know, country boy. And if he could do that much, Quintana, that's his name. I ain't gonna say his first name, I'll just do his last name. But all my boys have been with me for a long time ago. I know Quintana, I remember that guy, and a couple other ones. And then I always take people like, look at me, like if I can do it. But I'm not always a good example for everybody. So I like to have different examples for everybody to say, hey, I can do it if they can do it. Now, if you're the kind of person, I love these people. I just compete against myself. I feel like, and I mean, you've heard these social media influencers. I have no enemy except my own, or like I am my own worst enemy. I must compete. I've just got to get better every day. And I'm going like, I could beat me easy. I'm like a dum-dum. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I shouldn't compete. I don't feel like I should compete against myself. I feel like I should compete against somebody doing a little bit better. But I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't get too upset about it. I just think it's weird when they say don't compare. I mean, you know, like if you've never, if you've never ridden in a Mercedes, or you've never been in a Maybach, and you just, like a less expensive car, if you haven't compared, then of course you're happy because you've not seen what's available. Right. Almost like, well, I didn't know you could do that. I mean, like, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know where we at. Cabo, San Lucas. How many of y'all going to Cabo with us? Yeah. All right. The rest of y'all ought to be going to Cabo with us. But first time, and it's been years ago, the first time I had a butler, and they said, you got a butler, you know? And like all week I use a butler for, like, I ask them, you know, fix one thing, you know? Well, I didn't know what day was available for it. Toward the end of the cruise, it hit me. I said, hey, Bo, what are you good for? He said, what do you mean? I said, you're my butler. What do you do? And so he told me a few things. I said, well, let's try that one. And like one of the things I like, and then my wife gets mad at me this stuff too, because she's like, why are you going to use a butler? I said, hey, I mean, we got a butler. You know, it comes with the room. They walk you to dinner and introduce you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if you ever say you're the butler, say, hey, we're going to dinner about 7, get a guy about 1:45 walking down. So they'd be like, Mr. and Ms. Albright, you know, they walk you down there and they bring in and introduce you to the maitre d' and everybody, they're going to be eating, dining with y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of sets the atmosphere when they announce you, you know, and clothes ironed and, you know what I'm saying? Like you pay, you own the cruise, but if you don't know what's available, you don't even know to fight for it. So that's kind of my comparison thing. I go, well, compare this jet to that jet, or this room, or that suite. Like if you say, I don't really need a suite when I stay in a hotel with two sinks. Well, I didn't either until I did it a couple times. I got 2 sinks, and now my comparison is I don't like to go with 2 sinks. I don't like to share. You know, with Jane, I'd be like, you know, it's a comparison. That's just me. But if you're the kind of person who just wants to fight with yourself and not compare to, say, Joshua, you know, but if you see Joshua, you might go like, I think if Joshua can do it, I can do it. Or if Deborah can do it, I can do it. That's what they're thinking, Deborah. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know if they got the fight in them. Let's get Joshua up here and Deborah, because they got some good stories going on. Y'all coming up and give them a hand. I'm kind of getting to know them a little bit. Come on over here, Deborah, a little bit, and pass this on to Joshua. And so these guys are kind of celebrities in this group down here. So Joshua's written 89,000, and I'm not trying to compare anything. Right. But Deborah's written 150,000. They the number 1 and number 2 personal production, I think, in this whole meeting. That's right. Number 1 and number 2. And Deborah's team has written 207,000, whereas Joshua's team has written 213,000. So, and then we got over here, Joshua's got 24 different people writing in his business, and he's put in 25 direct to him this year, direct personal. And Deborah has 4 people writing in her business, and she's put in 5 people direct to her. So think about those numbers. She's written only 4 people writing, but 207. And his 24 people did 213,000. You with me? So you got a good start. You got a great start. You're putting together a great team. I mean, clearly, you got a bigger team with 213,000, only 89 is personal. And you've done annuities. Joshua's done annuities and IULs, and you've done annuities and IULs. So they're not like one-trick ponies, just doing one thing. They're doing everything. It is funny because people ask me like this, who was, where is Maria? Where's my R girl? Maria. Maria's like, you know, so we're not supposed to just get people to sell. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with recruiting people that just want to sell. I could care less. Or if you recruit people that just want to recruit, or like you recruit people just want to come to the meetings. I just want something to do on, you know, Thursday nights or opportunity meetings, and I don't care. You know, I'll be like, hey, listen, if you ain't gonna sell anything or recruit, you mind bringing some cookies or something? You know what I mean? Bringing like a little, you know, a little snack something. You'd be surprised how many people be like, yeah, I'll do it. And you'd be like, yeah, well, I mean, everybody got to bring something. You know what I mean? Some people bring a premium, some people bring recruit, she bring cookies. But it's fact. But you got to be happy about that. You got to be able to embrace it, you know. And then one day I might bring some cookies. Say, like, I brought my niece or my nephew because she loved my cookies. She want to come help and see who I'm bringing them to every Thursday or Tuesday or whatever. And then, you know, just networking like that. So it's just trying to keep everything simple. But if you get somebody that can sell and recruit and build, which is, we'd say that's the one thing we do. it's like if you're a basketball coach, you say, I'm just getting shooters. I mean, I shot when I was in high school. I was a shooter. So I'm just recruiting shooters. Okay. You know, like I ain't big on people going to play defense or people going to shoot free throws. You know what I mean? Like just one faceted. There's nothing wrong with that. And we've, you know, I've seen some teams that had just like one good shooter. They put him in for a while and take him out. But it's hard to win a national championship with a one-phase people. But having people that are just aggressive on defense and then score points like crazy and then they're deadly from the free throw line. Right. You with me? And it wouldn't hurt if their cheerleaders went on the sideline. Right. You know, so you're just looking for that complete player. So that's the reason I wanted y'all to hear from these, because these guys are complete players. You know, and things are comical to me because people go like, well, I'm just focused on selling. I'm not doing like her recruiting. Well, she done put in 5 direct to her, and they say, I'm focused on recruiting. I go, how many you got? And they go like, 5. I go, well, she got 5 and she ain't even focusing on it. She done read 150,000 personal production. So how is it you focused on recruiting and you ain't beating her? Right. You with me? Yeah. Or how about this? Now keep in mind, Deborah you didn't start kicking ass until, when did you start? It was this year or when?
Last year.
Last year. What time last year?
Probably in the middle, probably May.
May of last year.
Yes, sir.
Had you been with us a while before that?
I had.
Okay. And you just turned it on in May and have been cranking it up. But this year's a lot better than last year, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you hold on the mic for a minute. So when you look at Joshua, he's 25 in width and written 89,000. So it's almost like somebody says, the reason I'm not selling is I'm recruiting. Well, if you give up 89,000 in sales, you should be recruiting like 150 people if that's what you're focused on. If that's what you're focused on, and you should have more than 24 people in your organization writing business if that's what you're focused on, and you got a 0 in a production column. But what I find is people that are really, really good at selling are really good at recruiting. People really good at recruiting are really good at selling, like it goes hand in hand. You say, well, then how come so many people are just doing one? I don't think they try. Like I don't think it's they're not good at it or not focused on it. I just don't think they're trying. And you know, I know that Yoda thing. I go against the grain on a lot of things. So Yoda says there is no try, there's only do. I was like, no, I don't know what to tell you, little fella. But if people don't try, seldom do they do. I mean, it makes for a good Yoda, you know, but I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it, you know. You keep trying in this business, you're going to make it. Even though you fail and fail and fail, because there's a lot of not do in the try to.
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of not do in the try to. Mm-hmm. But if you keep trying and then read a book, get better, get advice, get direction, you get better at it. Right. So I really want to congratulate both of you guys. But let's see, Josh, let's talk about you. Okay, one of the most important subjects in your mind.
Yes, sir.
I knew that. So tell them about your family and wife and kids and just kind of high level like that right there. Right?
For sure. Well, for one, Andy, thank you so much for just the opportunity to be able to add some value to the Alliance on today. Look, my name is Joshua Parker. I do this opportunity with my lovely and my beautiful wife. Her name is Alexis Parker. We have 3 wonderful children. 8-year-old, we have a 8-year-old girl, we have a son that's about to be 7, and then we have a 3-year-old, and she's going on 20. And look, we've been partnering with the Alliance for the last 3 years. We're going on 4. Started off very, very part-time. I was a full-time student loan servicer, just working in the call center. I remember
you had a job.
I had a job. I
remember that. You worked for us a long time before you quit your job. How long was it?
Yeah, remember that time you we was in your office and you fell out on the floor
laughing?
Like I showed Andy what I make. The first time I ever met Andy actually was at family reunion in Vegas or Reno, and he had a calculator. He asked me what I made. Should I say it?
Well.
And it was like, I was making about like $18 an hour. And he was like, man, let me see my calculator. And so he pulled it out. He was like, Bo, This all you bringing home? I said, yeah, man. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but life is good. Sometimes.
37,440.
That's what it said. I still got it in my phone.
That's if you don't take 2 weeks vacation. That's all 52 weeks. Get you 37,440.
So fast forward, I'm a part of the dream team, Terry and Tia Edwards, amazing. And look, a year and a half into this part-time, I was able to fire my boss.
A year and a half you had that job.
Year and a half.
And I think, if I remember correctly, we was picking on you thinking you should have quit earlier.
Yes. You was laid out on the floor because you couldn't believe that I met you, 6 months earlier, and I was still on that job. So you fell out on the floor, and I like, man, I got to leave. And that's actually when I told my Mom, I think I got 30 more days because I'm going to have to leave my job because our CEO tripping. My mom.
Now, you ain't talking about Alexis when you say my mama, are you?
I'm talking about the woman that birthed me.
Wife, you know. That woman.
My new mom.
Your new mom.
Yeah, you know how wives, they want to be our moms too.
No.
Oh, mine.
Who did you check with? Your mama or your wife?
My wife had given me the okay when you were in the floor.
Uh-huh.
So I knew she was okay with it.
So then you had to go check with.
But mama.
You know you got a good guy. You know you got a good guy when he got to check with his mama before he quit his job.
And I was 34 years old.
Don't tell that. Everybody said, well, that's not bad. He ain't with 21, 22 checking with his mama. No, he's 34.
But it's been an amazing journey. Here. I'm really fired up. I don't want to talk too long, but I'm really fired up this weekend because at just this intense training, I have 3 legs here. I have Audrey Fawcett, we have Trey Askew, and we have Yante Bennett. And even in this room, yeah, give it up for them for sure. And then they've invested money and their time. And then on the fly, Trey Askew actually has 2 legs here, and they're both in debt to him. We have Daquan over here, and Daquan brought somebody as well. And then we have William over here. And then also in my depth, I have Mr.
There you go.
Mr. Darryl, Vreen. I'm sorry, I wanted to say Mr. Vreen, but Mr. Darryl, and he's in debt to one of my agents as well. So I'm just fired up, Andy. We are selling, we are recruiting, and as you see, we are building this thing. And look, we're going to Cabo in a couple weeks, and look, we are about 60,000 from Thailand, and we're about to win this next Builders game too. So everybody in that Riddle Nation, y'all watch out, we coming.
Yeah, well, so now, all I'm saying is, if you think you can outsell or out-recruit Joshua,
do it.
A rising tide raises all ships. So if that tide goes up and you're in a ship, you're going to go up. So the more people we got going up, that tide raises, everybody else goes up. So if you think you can play in his game, bring it. But, that's that comparison thing. Well, I'm not going to worry about what he does. I'm I'm studying the Bible. Okay. But there he is right there. I suggest you don't let your wife see him. Or your mama. Your mama talking about, I know what Joshua did. I don't know why you can't do it. Don't compare, mama. Don't compare. You know what I mean? You don't want to compare. Not when he whooping your ass. Making you look bad, That's why a lot of people, whether it's spouse, whether it's your wife, whether it's your husband, whether it's mama, a lot of people don't want you to see the success because, one, they don't want you to get your heart, but they're not they're not trying to hold you down. They're not trying to hold a brother down. They're not trying to stop you. They just don't want to see you get hurt, because you get your hopes up, and then it's dashed to come the rocks of the ocean, and just you get hurt, your feelings hurt, and they don't want to see you hurt like that. And then it's funny, people go like, well, how you gonna get hurt? Here's the way it hurts. You get your expectations up, and your best friend says, I'm gonna do this with you. You couldn't cut me out of this business with a chainsaw. Well, whenever they say that, bro, you might as well just go ahead and get their packing papers, you know what I'm saying? But you know how they just with you. That's my best buddy with me. And then he'd be like, hey, listen, I know I told you that, but I got a 50-cent an hour raise at work, and I worked hard to get it, or I got my degree and I got to stick with the path I was on. You know what I mean? And then it just hurts your heart, because you're so excited about your buddy and being rich together and traveling the world and buying cars, and then they turn on you, And that's what your mama don't want that to happen to you. They're like, oh, my boy, I got heart feelings, or you go on sales, you get no shows or charged back. It's just like they want no negativity to happen to you. Let me explain to you how to get no negativity to happen to you. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't have no expectations. Don't do no comparison. Don't ride in no nice car. Don't get no nice hotel room. Just stay low. Don't tell nobody. Just that way you don't get hurt. And so that's what they're trying to protect you from. Me, on the head, I want to see you get a bloody nose. Right. I want to see you cry. Right. I want to see you run until you're just dead tired. Had to get some of that throat coat because your throat's bleeding from talking to dum-dums on the phone. That's what I want to see you. Because that's people that sleep good at night. I don't know about y'all. I left out of here at 10:58 last night. I got home, straightened up a little bit. Next thing you know, and it was 10 seconds. You know what I mean? I had clear conscience, worked hard, slept good, ready to go. Fired up out of my mind. I'm sitting here at 7:15, pumping up with Tony Carter. I didn't see none of y'all in here, by the way. Looking around, I was like, bound to one of them gonna meet me there, but no, not one of them. But it's just I want to see it. My kid's in here, Spencer's in here. I call him a kid. My bad to the bone son, who got a little boy on the way soon. I just I want to see it, and I mean, because you get hit and hurt and disappointed and say that's the way it works. Because I used to do that when I was little. Something bad happened, I'd be like, all right, there you go. So we don't want to be mad at our mama or boyfriend, girlfriend, or cousins or something like that. Just know they're coming from a good place trying to help you. On the other hand, you got to learn how to not listen. You got to learn how to, I do this a lot. If I don't want to talk to somebody, or I have something more important, I'll be like, yeah, I got a prior commitment, a previous engagement. Something else I committed to, and you know how you are about me keeping my word. Right. You see, you got to learn how to say that to them. This is very critical. Yeah, you know how I am. Because your parents are like, why are you doing this? Why are you this? Why you travel? Why you going there? You got I just committed to it. You know how I am about commitments and keeping my word. So anyway, and then just move on. I put it this way: people say you don't need to be an excuse making machine. I go, whoa. Excuses are critical to success. Critical to success. You got to make excuses why not to hang around dum-dums. Right. You got to make excuses why you're going to go the extra mile. You got to make an excuse why you're going to pay to go to a convention. Right. You got to make an excuse for them. Say yeah, I know. I don't want to go. This is people dum-dums trying to hold you down. You have to say, look, man, I'd like to go out with y'all this weekend, but I already committed to this phone thing with one of my business partners, accountability, so I'm sorry. Because you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you also don't want to be held down by them, so you got to get really good at stiff-arming or putting them off. That's another thing, procrastination. Think and Grow Rich says that procrastination is one of the worst things that can be for you. I say be careful. If you procrastinate and doing something stupid, like one of my buddies, I'm no lie, goodbye call me, say, hey, when you say goodbye, it's urgent to talk to me, I say goodbye, and I called him, and he said, hey, This just happened. Me and Spencer in Turkey. I was telling Spencer about it. And he said, hey, man, I just want to say goodbye and just take care of the kids. I'm going to kill myself. I said, hey, look here. Today's a bad day for that. You ought to put that off for tomorrow. And he says, why is that? I said, well, it's Tuesday. You don't want to kill yourself on Tuesday. And something, let's just do tomorrow, like Wednesday afternoon, something like that. Get organized, get everything set up. He said, well, that makes sense. And you procrastinate doing something stupid. You procrastinate like you got a bunch of dum-dums. And I mean, if y'all like me, I still got a bunch of acquaintances or dum-dum, but they used to be really close friends. And they want to go out or me go do something with them. I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait to do it. It's Friday. They go, no, it's Saturday. I said, yes, Saturday. It's this weekend, right? They go, yeah, this weekend. I said, had a previous commitment. Maybe we could do it next week or week after next. You see what I'm saying? You put it off. Now, a lot of people are like, what if I put it off? Like, for example, you told your friend not to kill yourself on Tuesday. What about Wednesday? Well, then Wednesday, we talk about putting it off a little bit. You know what I mean? Procrastination. You got to be a good procrastinator at the stupid stuff, the dumb stuff, hanging around dumb people. Put it off till later. And then what you do is you minimize it too. Like you just put it off. And then if you they get really, really mad, they're going to be your friend. Well, first of all, you need to make a decision. That might be a good thing. Say, I hate to lose you, but I hate to lose you, but I understand. So I feel terrible about it. I wish you could reconsider. And they go, you want to go out Friday night? Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not that much reconsidering. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense to y'all? Yes. Because people ask, how do you lose friends? Like, I don't lose friends. I just put them off. Mm-hmm. And they ain't. And by the way, I got to make room for my other friends. It's crazy, my network. I can't keep everybody in it. I just texted a couple people this morning I probably ain't heard from in 3 or 4 years. And a lot of it is I put them off. Mm-hmm. But I put them off and they quit bothering me. But then I'll be like, I still want to stay in contact with them, so I just send them a what's up text. What you been doing on, you know what I mean? Now, I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to waste no time with them, but I just want to, just kind of keep them in my life. Right. All right. Is this helpful?
It's helpful.
All right. I know you got a lot going on. Here's what I wanted you to talk about. At some point, things flipped for you in a good way. What are the things you did different? Did you watch less television? Did you make more dials? Were you emotional, mad? I talk about being mad a lot. Just try to come back, and I'll give you a second to think. What changed? Because there's a couple people in this room I'm thinking about, and there's a lot of people on the show that are watching that I know these people. They're really good people, super talent. They inside them, some of them is a little deep down in there. Some of them is right on the surface. But they need to get that good out. And so maybe what you did, they could use that technique to get their good out and start putting the numbers up. 150, how much you say been deposited in your checking account so far this year?
Well, I looked a while ago, 126,000.
126,000. January, February, March, April, May. What's today's date? May?
20. Is it 21st?
May 2021. Mm-hmm. Already 120,000 put in your account. That's good job. Yeah. So what do you think? What changed? What all did you do different?
First, I want to say thank you. Mm-hmm. This has been an amazing ride, hasn't it, y'all? This week is just been very good. I want to thank Mike and Noel at Open Towage for believing in me too. I'm going through a lot of things right now.
Me too.
But God's got me.
God's got you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm asking? I don't care. I know you're going through stuff. I'm going to say, what did you change to start putting these numbers? What did you do different?
Put more hard work into it. I bought more leads. I kept on pushing.
But you got more leads?
Yes. I even tried the AI. I've been trying the AI. Well, next week is Memorial Day. I just came back. I took my sisters to Jamaica last week. Yeah, we got off the plane at 11:45 Saturday. Got on the plane at 4 a.m. Sunday. to get here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have time to dial. Please, bang, bang, get me some AI appointments. And then I'll finish the rest of the week on my own calling. But I need the AIs to call so I can have some for Tuesday and Wednesday.
So you flew in, did that just to come to this training?
That's right.
We're going to get to this training in a minute, but so more leads.
More leads.
So did Mike sell you on that, or did Jerry sell you on that? Putting more leads so you get more production.
So Mike and Joseph and Noel really pushed me to be productive, give me more leads. When I meet my Espanol, Jerry's right there. I'm like, okay, Jerry, now, you know, I know hola como está. That's it.
I know dinero.
Oh yeah, all right.
Dinero.
And so I put. They helped me, you know, get it. What do you want to do?
What's the most amount of leads you bought in a week? What's the high dollar amount of leads?
I think last week I bought 500. I did $500 in leads, and then I said, give me AIs, and so 1,000. I just went ahead and just.
So you went from 500 to 1,000, but typically you've been in the 500 neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting math. If you'll slow down with people and take out a calculator, kind of like I did when I calculated how much you was making in a whole year, and you kind of do a correlation. You do I call it algebra. It might be algebra. It's something I learned in textile school at NC State. If you buy $100 worth of leads and you get 1,000 of sales, if you do $500 of leads and you get 5,000 of sales, so you say, well, you're making less because you're buying $500 instead of 100. Or they say you're making the same because 500 gets you 5,000 and 100 gets you 1,000. So they go, that's the same. It's 1 to 1 and 5 to 5. So there's no change. And I'm going like, you really don't understand math, do you? And you know, I had one friend one time, he'd go, Albright never considers the feelings and the hard and the sad and disappointment. All he wants to do is look at the numbers. That's what he said. And I was like, to some extent, you're right, because you're emotional about spending $500 versus 100. You hadn't seen this math, Taylor, but think about this. In your mind, go through it. I can do it on the board, but let's say, so our grid goes from 55% to 140%. So let's just use the 100% contract, okay? So at 100% contract, $5,000 in sales will get you $5,000 because 100%. Y'all with me on that? Just keep it simple. If you do 80%, now we got to go 8 times 5 is 4,000. You know, just keep it simple. So $5,000. So you said 100% on 1,000, you get 1,000. So you rather make $5,000 or 1,000, and that's per week. Okay, you say, yeah, but you got to understand, Andy, they had $500 worth of leads. So you take the 5,000 minus 500, it's 4,500. But if you take the 1,000, remember, is this tracking? Minus 100 is 900. So do you want to net 4,500? And complain about your lead cost, or net $900 and talk about, I spent less leads than you did. A penny saved is a penny earned. Like, bro, that's not what that means. That's not the concept. But a lot of people really, like, I would encourage you to just slow it down, take out a piece of paper and say, does this math, do you understand the black and white of it? And then, you know, all I'm doing is simplifying it. You only get a 75%, 80% placement. There's all kind of factors, but the factors are not going to change if you only buy $100 or $500. But here's another factor I want you to consider. Every once in a while, when you're running appointments, you come across a $500,000 annuity or $1 million annuity. Now, if you say, so you're writing business, but if you're talking to $500 worth of people a week versus somebody that's talking to $100 a week, you're more likely to come across a $500,000 annuity or $1 million annuity that's not likely to happen if you're only talking to $100. So it's not 100 to 1,000 and 500 to 5,000, because the person that's hitting more appointments by spending it is also going to find the crazy IULs, the crazy annuities. So it's a compounding effect of investing more in your business and more for leads, and people just they struggle with that, because I mean, not many people are used to pulling out a calculator and doing the algebra mathematics to it. It does look spooky, like if you're buying the same amount, $500 leads, how are you making more money than if you're only buying $100 worth of leads? Well, I just showed it to you. If your stats match, you're netting 4,500 as opposed to netting 900.
Right.
Now some of them are really smart. I've had some of these in my organization. They go, now let me get this straight. If I got $500 worth of leads, I've got to work more in a week than if I buy $100 leads. And I go, you figured it out. I see what you're saying. You want to make less money and not work. Well, you're on track. You just want to hug them, congratulations. And then find somebody with hunger. You with me?
Right.
You tracking on it? All right, so more leads. Good. What else did you do? You hard work, but I mean,
Yeah.
like we ain't digging ditches or washing windows or nothing like that, and toilets.
That's right.
So when you say hard work, what do you mean?
I'm really good at Medicare, but I'm getting better at annuities and doing IUL appointments now.
Well, did you
So
get
it's not-
better all of a sudden at Medicare? Or?
No, well, better this year, but I've been pretty good at it.
Well, so May, and what else happened in May? It's just more leads?
I just think that
more leads, less focus. Did you stop watching television or stop with the cocaine or something? I don't know.
No, I worked actually longer
I don't know.
hours. I worked longer hours, and just like Josh's mom, my mom at 3 o'clock, baby, you got to go home. You tired. But I had to not call her before 3 p.m. because I knew that I had to keep working.
Wait a minute, your mama, you still check with your mama too?
Yes. She's 88 years old, y'all, and Juanita Waters, that's my mama.
She try to get you not to work so many hours.
She loves me. She just thinks that a lady's not supposed to be out after dark.
Unless.
Yeah, the street lights got to come on now. You got to get it in the house.
My mom would tell me you're burning the candle at both ends.
Yep.
You ever heard that? Mm-hmm. Do you know what that means? 'Cause I don't know
Yep.
what that means.
I mean, you're working this way and you're working that way.
Oh, you're working this way and working that way. So your formula seems a little simple for some people. They want to complicate it. More leads, more dials, more appointments, more people. Let me ask you this. Did that get you, when you started buying more leads, did you get more no's?
Well, I actually not only I live in Rosa, New Mexico, so what I would do is I would go to Las Cruces, New Mexico.
How far is that from where are you at?
Probably about 200 miles. And
200 miles?
But my grandkids live there too. But I would work. Before I went to bed, I picked my grandson Jaden up, feed him, and take
So
him
you
to school
drive
at 8.
200 miles and run appointments down there?
I would get a hotel for the week.
So your leads are not like right in your neighborhood.
No, sir.
You're driving 200 miles and then just printing money.
Print money. And the week before, El Paso, Texas.
How far is that?
Probably an extra 50 for Las Cruces.
You got grandkids down there too?
No, sir. I wouldn't let the kids know that I was in town that time because I didn't want to be, I needed to run appointments.
Yeah, you put it off.
Yeah.
Make an excuse.
So they know now. Because I told them to watch. Love y'all.
They probably like that procrastination thing he been talking about. That's what Grandma been doing right there. She put us off.
Gotta love them.
Woo! All right. Well, what's the prognosis for the rest of the year? Are you going to keep the gas on and keep burning it and tearing it up?
I'm going to double it up. I'm going to Thailand. I missed it. Did y'all hear this morning when they were talking about the annuities? My last annuity I waited. It was in December, but it didn't drop, so I missed Cabos.
Oh, God. Oh, that hurt.
I had it.
But you had it. You know, you heard me say don't cut it close, right?
I heard you.
Don't wait till the last minute.
But I'm going to get it, the Thailand, because I'm going to family reunion and I'm buying my next ticket to the next event. That's an extra $50,000. I only need $49,000 of production, and that's coming with annuities that's already in the pot.
Oh, I know what I want to do. Take a minute for it to pop up there, but well, I'm sorry you missed combo.
Me too.
I want to clarify that. Don't cut it close like the last minute, because people always say things like, I only missed it by like 2,000 points. If you got to do 250,000, they're like 248,000. I'm so close. And I go, what's funny is if you miss it by $1, you don't go. But if you make it by $1, you go. So we can't change the number just because you missed it by 2,000. You go, what if I only missed it by $1? Then you missed it. But the people that are 1,000, they're so funny because they don't realize somebody else missed it by only 800, somebody missed it by 600, 200. So if you let the person that missed it by 2 go, it ends up being 12 people because they're so close. Because people are always hovering right around. For whatever reason, people just hover. Like whatever their bills are, that's how much money they make. They'll make no more. And win a trip to Cabo, that's all they do. They'll make no more. You know what I mean? So what I try to tell people is get used to living above and beyond. Like what do they call it? Just bigger and better. Above, abundance. Live in abundance. Yeah. So you're going to do that with Thailand. So like this time, Thailand, don't stop.
I know. I'm go up to the high one. The extended stay.
Is that that's resetting on me. We had a guy. His name will come up here in a minute. Joshua. Oh, here we go. Ethan Hensley, part of Jerry Burbage Group. He has just won Thailand. Woo! So not even 5 months in, Ethan is. He's written 22 applications for $427,777. Wow. That's not bad at all. So Burbage keep finding some really good people. I'm excited for him. Hey, Joshua, you've been around a year or two. When did you get started with us?
January of 2022.
Okay. 22, 23, 24, 25. So 3.5 years in, and you're coming to this. Well, clearly, you got 3 legs, 3 different franchises, if you want, 3 different distributions, if you want, 3 greenhouses, if you play a Monopoly. You got 3 greenhouses. I've been listening to the cash flow quadrant, and he was like, where did you learn your model of how to build Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And he said, playing not Monopoly. And I was like, that's where I learned this business is playing Monopoly. Like if you get a chance to buy a house, a property, you buy a house. And then once you get all the properties, then you can put the little green houses on them. And then once you save up enough money, you put another greenhouse on it. And then once you get 4 greenhouses and then get one more, you can put a red hotel on it. Right. So that's kind of the way I learned it. So that's why I say you got 3 greenhouses, and you just try to put more greenhouses on those houses until you make it into a hotel. Right. So that rental income that's coming in from selling is just like if you owned a hotel. But so I know you got good reasons to be here, but just talk about the thinking process of coming in here. You're obviously, what are you, Winston-Salem, High Point?
Greensboro.
Mm-hmm. So you're pretty close. Are you driving back to Greensboro, or you stay in Burlington every night?
I'm going back to Greensboro.
Every night?
Every night.
Okay. All right, so what was you thinking on coming here? Because, people, I know it all. I mean, you are pretty sharp. I mean, you picked up on a lot of things on your own. So what was your thinking to make you decide to come into a intense leadership like this?
My thing was, for one, I love step 5. if anybody doesn't know what step 5 of the 8 steps are, it's just attend all meetings. At least ones is like within 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours of yourself. And when I was at the Albright Leadership Cabin,
Right.
and so I didn't go to, and I got a lot of great training there, so I didn't attend the last intense training. But I said, as soon as there's availability, I want to be there too, because I still want to grow. But my big thing was, I wanted to be there, but I wanted to bring somebody with me.
Here, to an intense training.
To an intense training, because I know if I can get other people there, like you said, they're franchises. So they can learn the things that maybe we don't learn on Terry's Dream Team call on Mondays, or things that I'm not telling them in coaching, they can get from our leaders across the country and the direct staff who is personally with you on a daily basis. And I just said, man, if I can get people to that, that is a success for me. And a lot of people, I believe, are not really fired up about meetings because they've already heard it. But that means also you don't have anyone new at the meetings. Because if you have new people at our meetings, you'd be fired up. Because you're like, woo, for one, I don't got to do it all. And for two, man, they're grabbing all this, but they're grabbing it from people who are higher level than I am. Right? Like, my team got to hear from Mike and Noel Leventovich up close and personal. Yesterday, Adam Katz, like Jeff Bright. Like, these are nuggets that gets dropped in on us, and that if the whole country doesn't get to hear it, they may be able to hear some of it on, like, after the fact. But sure, we get to take it next week and go out and apply it. So that's really why I was just fired up. Just wanted to grow for my life. My wife really wanted to be here. But we were having so many trouble with we have 3 children, so picking them up from school and all that, we was having a little bit of trouble. But she's fired up, and I'm fired up, and we're gonna have some more agents at the next event, and she'll be at that one.
What did you take from the recruiting stuff? You were laughing pretty hard and asking crazy questions, but what did you take, and what are you gonna take with you and use?
For one, it's all about being yourself, right? Being comfortable in your own skin. Like, I was trying my best to laugh inwardly yesterday because, like, Andy is doing an interview. Like, when my wife is interviewing agents, and if I walk in there, she's like, just get out. Andy's on the interview. It's like he hits a pause button and like, yo, and he just starts talking to us. And I'm like, somebody's on the interview.
But they weren't muted.
But they were not, it wasn't muted. I'm like, so he hears, the age or the client hears interview, and he hears, yes, so this is what you should do, and these people are rereads and dum-dums. And but it was just amazing seeing him be himself. Right? It was one part of the conversation where I'm like, yeah, dude probably gonna hang up. And at that moment, Andy said, hey man, let me ask you something. Am I getting through? You going anywhere, or am I wasting your time? And he was like, you talking? I'm talking? I'm loving it. I'm like, oh shoot. Right? So being very authentic. And then Andy has, and I believe we all have the ability, but Andy has the ability to travel, right? Just like all of us. So that was one thing that I noticed. Hey, look, if I want somebody on my team and they sharp enough, I better get my tail to an event so that I can, look, don't meet me there, beat me there, right? So that's what I took from it, man. Let's get out, let's travel, be your authentic self. You don't have to be all uptight and, personal. And then, look, if y'all, Andy told somebody, look, man, Google me, man. Google me. Right? And I'm like, man, I can't tell nobody Google me. I can, but they'll get, obviously it was a fat white guy. That's what it was. So, and that's not me, no shots, but that's not me. But Andy gave me leverage. Look, hey, yo, look, there's a guy I hang out with every day. He's mentoring me, Andy Albright. Google him real quick. Right? So use leverage. Your upline. Some of your uplines they are leverage. Right? If your upline is Mike and Noel, why in the world are you not telling people about them? Right? And the list goes on. So that's what I'm excited about. That recruiting fired me up. You doing some more tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, look, hey, look, we're supposed to get over at 10 o'clock. We were sitting till about 11 because we fired up. For one, we are invested. And for two, we fired up. Andy had us fired up at 11 o'clock at night. Let's talking to some people over there in California.
Yeah. Don't talk about them too much. I've been texting with that guy today.
Did he talk to his wife?
Hey, what was the guy that was going to meet me in Maryland?
Jose. What is?
Is everything still progressing?
He's coming in Saturday morning.
Have you FaceTimed him yet? Show him around a little bit.
He's at work today.
Huh?
He's at work today. We were texting about 7 a.m.
Yeah. Well, text him. Say, hey, let's talk after work. Let's FaceTime on, introduce you a couple people or something like that. Or lunch. Maybe see if he's at lunch. And then you can put him on a Zoom and not a Zoom, but put him on a FaceTime or something and show him around, come up here and show him everybody's in a meeting. Or even tell him, say, hey, we're talking about you on this conference because we're really excited about meeting you in Maryland. So click on it and watch the training a little bit. See, the trick is to like when you get in touch with somebody, text them and then just keep communicating with them. Just think of something to ask them. Something to send them. Say, hey, you ought to check out this video of somebody that's in Chicago like you, or if they're a race car driver, hey, you ought to take send them a YouTube of one of our guys that likes racing, like not Mike Morisi, Chris Manifold. Manifold loves racing. Oh, Chris Manifold, he loves this business. Y'all should connect. And then so you get a guy that likes racing to talk to Manifold, and he talks about all the money he spends with him and Mackie. They go around traveling and racing. And then you tell your guy, say, guess what? My man's made $200,000 so far this year. How about that? He was an engineer, graduated from Purdue. You see, you're using examples of trying to get your guy. So like with Jose, we want to try to get him who's like Jose. So you show video or FaceTime him and let him see who else is here. Right. You with me? And again, like that guy, the one California, it didn't. I mean, we scared him to death. Yeah, he ain't hitting on much. But and also think about this. Could you tell how much I was trying to get him, and at the same time how much I didn't even care?
Yeah, 100%.
But it's both.
Right.
It's not I don't care, but clearly I don't. And it's not that I don't want them because I do want them, clearly I do. I'm trying my best to get an angle.
Right.
But if they say no, hang up on me or whatever, I'm just getting to the next person. Because like if I have a really embarrassing situation for me because I was seeking clarity, remember, seeking clarity is always a risk of embarrassment. Hey, we need to keep talking, or like, are you bored? Click, hangs up on me. So then I text the guy, hey, did you hang up on me at when I said that, or did just coincidentally we lose connection right that minute? And he texts me back, is this a job or not? ? And I hit him back with, hell no, this is an opportunity.
That's right.
This is 1099 money. If you need W-2, you need to look elsewhere. And he said, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said, all right. I mean, we'll move on. But then I'm dialing the next person, because if I have a disaster, if I can get 2 or 3 people in other words, I get 2 or 3 other ones, I'll forget about this one.
Yeah.
I'll move on. So it's how much I want them and then how much I don't care. Right. Several people I've spoke with today about that, with Terry Edwards. Most people, when they talk to, how about this? If y'all notice, Joshua's voice, it goes low and it goes high. It changes that much. And I have a lot of tendency to do the same thing intentionally, because most people talk like right here. Don't want them, don't care, want them like crazy. Talk kind of low, talk kind of high, fired up.
Right.
No, it's like this. But most people talk here. They don't really want them, and they really get upset when they don't get them. It's so close together. How much they want them is not that crazy, and how much they don't do it, they don't really care. I mean, or I should say they do care. They get all upset when they don't do it. Like, bro, you got to have that spread. or the high-pitched voice, the low-pitched voice. And then the same thing, this is big with y'all bringing people in. The same thing with you stay really low on what you get them to do. Read books, listen to audios. Hey, if y'all see me, if I start working immediately, I'm like, hey, have you ever heard Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Hey, have you ever heard Think and Grow Rich? I'll send it to them on Audible. And if they say, yeah, I listen to stuff like this all the time, I go, oh, I've got a kindred spirit. I've got somebody that's already on board. And somebody says, I've never really listened to this, but I'll buy it and I'll listen to it and check it out. I got him on board. If a guy's like, this thing costs money, I'm like, this is not my guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing's free anymore these days. It's America, baby. America, free enterprise and making cash and schemes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. Audible charges you like $6 to listen to Air. That's Audible. That's the way it is. That's the way it works. You gotta pay to play. And I mean, I've spent millions and millions of dollars on audios and books and stuff like that. So I try to get them hooked on them early. I call that low. I'm not trying to get them sales. If I can get them to make money, they won't quit. I go, oh, they're going to quit. You with me? What you try to do is get them to enjoy becoming a better person. Then if they don't make money, they're trying to become a better person.
Right.
All right, then we talk to them about getting crazy rich. So I go from really low, easy, anybody could do it, to let's get crazy rich, which nobody wants to get rich. So you see the spread I'm doing, Joshua? The elasticity, the bandwidth, the tolerance. You know, it's just all those things that have to do with not being boring. Now, we do say it's better be interested than interesting. However, you still don't need to be extremely boring. Right. It's better to be interested in them than trying to become interesting. But some people need to really try to be a little more interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got that monotone, bad breath,
Clear eyes.
look. You know? And you'd be like, this ain't gonna be no fun at all. You get fun of this person make millions of dollars, we're gonna be bored. You know what I'm saying? I ain't studying that. You know what I mean? To attract them on, you gotta be a little interesting. True that?
Right.
True that.
All right. Same thing. You're in. Where'd you say you were? Jamaica?
Rosa, I was in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, fly in all night just to get here. You already made 100-some thousand. You got Dookie you're working through, just swimming through Dookie, right? You just, right? Yeah. Other people are like, I'm gonna stay home and work. I go like, let me look at your numbers. Because I don't listen to their feeling, the hearts. I go, let me hear your numbers. You stayed home and worked. I don't know what you stayed home and did, but it wouldn't work. One went to Jamaica and come here all week out selling you ain't home working. I ain't got no crystal ball, but I ain't stupid.
I was supposed to be in Arizona. My nephew's son is graduating. I had bought the ticket, and when Mike called me, I told my family I got to cancel.
Well, because we got a previous engagement.
That's right.
Something important. What'd they say?
I just sent the graduation gift. Most gifts.
Oh, you sent a gift? That's all they wanted?
That's all they want. They're not even going to read the card. Yeah. So I'm good. And my family.
Hey, did you bump a gift up a little bit since you didn't have a flight? Watch this. They'll think she went. They'll be like, thank you for coming to my graduation. They got a gift, you know what I'm saying? They don't a bit more know she's there, the man in the moon. Yeah. No, I know. I've been there. I've been there. Uncles, my mama, your Uncle Bernard, you got to come to his funeral. I ain't coming. We sent flowers, Bo. He's all fired up,
He was.
He was dead.
That's what I thought.
Everybody else fired up.
Okay.
I think I put my mama's name on the flower so she got some credit too.
That's good.
That calms
That's
her
good.
down.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you're thinking about coming to this meeting. Talk to us what you was thinking, what you was expecting, and why'd you do it? I mean, did Mike bribe you to do it or push you to do it, or what was the,
Well,
talk to me.
I was in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I had an appointment in Anthony. So I drove to Las Cruces to be halfway there because I did an appointment already in Anthony, but I didn't want to go all the way back to El Paso.
Right.
And so I went to Dillard's. I didn't go shopping, y'all. I sat in the car. I made some calls and stuff like that. Mike Laventovich called me and he said, Deborah, God's got bigger things for you.
No, that's right.
And it went straight from God's voice from Mike to this here. And I can't grow if I don't know. And I'm here. I'm here to learn, and I'm gonna get bigger, and I'm gonna get better, and God's gonna take care of me.
That's right.
See, any of y'all got connections with God, and you trying to get an agent to go, get him to send a message.
So I canceled my flight to Arizona, and I listen to your upline because they know what you need. You don't know what you need.
So, all right. So you did what Mike said. You did what God told you to do. Mm-hmm. You committed. So what do you think? Are you feeling good about it? I mean, we've still got rest of the day and Thursday, Friday, but so far you feel like you got your time commitment worth, your money worth?
All right, what does my Noel say? I'm fired up, out of my mind. My hair is not on fire. I bought this blonde hair in Jamaica. Wasn't even the right color. Somebody told me they hated my color before I got on the plane. I'm like, I'm still going. I don't have time to fix it.
I like it.
Well, thank you.
I think it's signature. I think you had to stick with it. It was a signature move now.
Well, thank you. I might be all blind in July.
So tell them a couple of things you picked up on. What have you learned? What's hit you as a surprise, or like, wow, I'm going to change this, or maybe you just something you already thought and you just confirmed it. So you're double committed to something you already thought.
So I'm double committed. I didn't totally understand IUL, but wasn't that a great training this morning? Oh my goodness. I am now going to go in there and implement it, and starting from the babies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, from the cradle to the grave. We're going to get them.
That's tough.
So you think about it, if a person spends $299 or call it $999 to go to a seminar, right? Our seminar is usually not $1,000, some of them are, but you pay $1,000. The question is, over the next 90 days or the next 12 months, how much do you increase your income because of something you were just told? So let's just go with the next 12 months. How many IULs do you do on kids? If you do 5, 6, the $299, you just made $600 that you wouldn't have made, right. So you doubled your money. If it's only 5 and 12 months,
That's right.
But you turn around and get a $2,000 a month or a $3,000 a month, and you get a $10,000 bump in commission because you put in a little bit of money and a little bit of time. That's why when you listen to the right people, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Napoleon Hill, they say things like, there's nothing you can invest in that's more important than yourself and your brain and your knowledge and your information. So the person that's trying to save money and stay home and work, he didn't invest no money in his intelligence. He thinks work is going to solve everything. Because people hit me with, it's just a numbers game. Whoa. It is a numbers game, but the smarter you are and the more levers you can pull, the more little tricks, nuggets, tips you can pick up while you're doing the numbers game, right. Getting better and coming to stuff like this. Oh, I did a couple people, so we went out to the cabin. Y'all can comment on that. We went out there, and we're going to do, we've been doing like 15 people, and because we got it's kind of tight quarters to do 15. We've opened up. They ain't quite ready yet, but 4 more bedrooms. It's going to go to 8 bedrooms, but most of them will sleep 2, 4, or 6. So we are going to have some dates booked, and it'll be first come, first serve. And there's some people like, I don't know if you said it, Jerry Burbage said, like, look, can I have one where it's just my people? And the question is going to be is, I don't know, Jerry, if we put it out there and your people all sign up, then it's just your people and nobody else. But it's because it's got kind of crazy. We have so much fun out there. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And some people were like, hey, I've done it once, I don't want to come back. That's fine, because
They didn't come.
They weren't paying attention. They didn't. Comment on that. You went out there. How much perspective did that change in your life?
Man, the cabin. This one of the last cabin. Like this experience.
Which one you want to talk about more?
We'll talk about the academy.
All right, talk to the cabin.
So the academy was my first time at the cabin. So like most people in the year 2025, when we pull up, I got my camera out, and I'm just driving, just looking like this stuff just keeps going. Right.
So you had never been out there?
Never had been out there.
Okay.
Just seen pictures, but the pictures, yeah.
You can't.
Y'all got to get out there.
You can't grasp it.
Definitely. So got out there. The training was my first intense type training I've had.
Like just hours.
Right. Yeah. That was yeah. that was pretty deep. Hunting.
I like the way you said it.
Hunting. Had never done that before. I couldn't even hit the ski when it went. I was like, what is wrong with me? It's like 20 pellets come out and none of them hit. So that was really fun. A chef, had a private chef. I believe he flew him out from New York.
Yeah. So
the crazy thing is, food's so good, I wanted to tell him, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. He like, yeah. I'm like, why he don't want to talk? He don't even speak English. I'm like, how'd you coordinate that? But it was so amazing, just being there, and the llamas. I let a llama. I don't know. I heard they be spitting, so every time they got in my face, I was a little hesitant. But but it was just an amazing event. And my highlight, Andy turned the lake on. So y'all don't even know what that means. That's my terminology. So when we was coming back from looking at the animals, he goes and like push this machine, and then the lake just like, brrr, and I'm like, what? He's like, he's feeding the fish. Is that real? Like, is it under the? So that was just amazing. Like a lot of different things. I think it's on like over 250 acres. Like if you've never been on 250 acres, at least you get on 250 acres and learn from a billionaire and his group of millionaires and high-level earners to help grow you and grow your business. So if you haven't been to the cabin, the next time that Andy puts that invite up there, Josh's team, make sure you're on, and then the Alliance, y'all can follow suit.
Oh, man. I don't know if everybody heard this, but it's been about 12, 13 years ago, and I was down in southern Georgia on the Georgia-Florida line, and there's a company down there called Senior Life. I don't know if you ever dealt with these people, but I'm good friends with those people, and I try to do business, but there's different reasons we don't deal. If you've dealt with them, you know. And I was talking to a guy that was with them, and he was telling me all the bad stuff, and I was like, yeah, I know him. I'm good friends. Quit talking bad about my friends. I don't work with them either, but I quit too. You should have quit. And but here's what I like about when I was down there talking to them. We were fishing, and I mean, I'm catching fish. You know, in my ponds, I got 4 ponds, 3 out at the cabin, 1 at my house, and they loaded with fish. But I mean, just some days you catch them, some days you don't, and you don't hardly ever catch any big ones, except once in a while, you know. And I'm down there catching them. And I looked at that fool, I said, hey, look here. How you get these fish so good? He looked at me, he said, ain't you got a lot of money? I said, I got a lot of money. He said, man, I have a lot of money. His fish should bite. I called my cousin. I said, hey, We need to get some biologists in here from Kansas where the fish are, Alabama, and fly them in and get our chemicals right, get the food right. You with me? Right. You come out of my house, you catch fish, Bo. I went the other day, I had a dress shirt on, and I wouldn't go down there in my nice shoes, but I put on different shoes, but I left it on there and just strike 3 casts, and I caught a 5.5 pound striped bass. I was so fired up. You know, it's different. I like catching more than I like fishing. Right. But it's just, I mean, it's now a dream come true in all of our ponds. We've got one that specializes in trophy bass. And then we got one that's everything: brim, crappie, striped bass, regular largemouth bass. And then I got one that ain't nothing but catfish. And I don't know, what I started out with saying, like, you didn't know it was available. I got the ponds, but I didn't know that if you got all the stuff right in the pond and fed them, and you got some right fish, we've shipped in some fish that will grow, these boys will wear it out, you know? And so what he's saying is you hit that button, this thing's loaded about 200 pounds of fish food, and I'll hit the test button and brrr, 10 seconds. 10 seconds of just throwing that fish food out there, and they go, brrr, they come to the top. So like, let's say I'm fishing and I feel like I ain't caught one quick enough, I just turn it on. They all come running like the dinner. You just throw it right in the middle of there, they be like, boo, 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 boo. It's fun. I don't know. If you don't know, it's available. If I hadn't never compared my pond to his pond, I'd still about there sweating, not catching nothing. One time, my wife might be listening, but I'm going to tell us anyway. She likes fishing with a cane pole. And she didn't know what all we've been doing. We went out there, it's hot as Hades, you know. She had that cane pole, and I'm baiting that hook. And she's throwing it in there and pull them out. I'm telling you, she's putting it in there. She's sweating, Bo. She never caught that many fish in her life. She, oh my God, I'm hot, I'm tired. We caught about 15 fish, you know what I'm talking about. With a cane pole, Bo. We were just bringing them in. You know, I was just baiting the hook, bringing them in. I was watching her, but she's like, oh my God.
Love it.
All right. What do you leave these people with? I'm gonna get Mike and Noel up here and chat. They're my best buddies up here. What do you feel like? Well, let's do this. There's people out here that didn't come to this meeting. You can't completely encapsulate it and send it to them. But what would you say to them? Like, give them a tip. What's something you picked up on here? Well, IULs was good. What else?
IULs was good. The money is worth it. I know we're not making money here, but I'm taking phone calls between break. Even this morning, I got here at 7:30, but I made calls. But invest the money. It's well worth it. You're going to get training. The staff here at Alliance, y'all are so amazing. Oh my God, they have been catering to us, and I'm not saying that the meals is what, but the meals have been amazing also. But the training,
you said the males or the meals? The meals. I'll just make sure you said
the meals are excellent. And then not only the staff, they're also, I mean, they're training us, they're investing in us, and they're up here just as late as we are. And so, but I'm thinking that the growth, because I'm ready to, you're going to get me in trouble.
That's my job.
I'm thinking about more recruiting. Did y'all see all them circles that Noel and them was doing? I mean,
building a legacy. Yeah. You like that part.
Money like toilet paper, huh? I'm telling you. And if Jane ever does one at the cabin, I'm coming.
All right, yeah.
If you give me a bed.
There's a female. She wanted one all female, so I got the dates reserved for it.
Put my name down.
And all right.
I got you. I'm coming.
All right. Well, you know that thing about feelings. We more on deposits than
I
we are
got it.
feelings.
I told you I got my money. Hey, I got some money coming. So
we're so proud of you. Like everybody,
so much.
Everybody's just, you've been a big hit with everybody. Like, because we kind of didn't know you, and we did get some warning from Leventovich. It's like, y'all gonna love this lady, and
thank you.
So we've been just thrilled to have you here. And Joshua, as always, brother, you bring life to the party. And hey, we got us a new basketball coach. We go to some games this year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Have a good time, brother. So y'all give these guys a hand. They're great people. Love y'all. Proud of you. I love getting to know somebody like Joshua that just I know him, but getting to know him a little bit more and just getting used to him, and it's fun getting to know people. And people that you're going to spend the next 20, 30 years traveling around the world, going to Cabo, going to Thailand, and we're working now on our 27 destination. So we will start 26. We need everything ready by the end of this year. We know we're going to Thailand, but at the end of this year, we're going to start qualifying to go somewhere. It's another fabulous destination. So we're planning ahead. Vision, seeing where we're going to go, seeing what kind of business we're going to have, how many people are going to qualify. So Mike and Noel are here in the house. If both of y'all here, yeah, y'all come up here. Give them a hand. How y'all doing?
We're awesome.
Fired up.
Fired up. Fire on fire. Yeah, I don't think you're going to hear it come out of there, but it goes in it. It's better for the people that are listening to it. So y'all are promoting this pretty hard. Y'all have got some people here, and y'all have always been a big proponent of the system. So just talk to me about your thinking. Where did that come from? Is that something as a child, or is it just a training from leadership, the gurus? What gives y'all that burn to get people to come around?
Well, we had attempted previous businesses and we learned it from that. And we didn't make money there, but we learned, read books, go to the meetings.
You learned the principles.
The principles, yeah. That was for me. I don't know. You probably learned it.
Learned some of it there. And then here is like by default was a do-it-yourself guy. If you want to do it right, do it yourself. And as we started to build, we realized I only got so much time in a day. I can't train each agent every little thing by myself. And some people on our team don't like me. Or they pretend like it for a little bit.
What'd you say?
I said, some people don't like me.
That's true.
It's like shocking. I said, look at me, I'm awesome, but not to everybody. So I realized I couldn't do it all.
Don't you like when other people are like, that's not true, me, everybody likes me, and you're like, what? You think that? Wow.
You're awesome.
You are awesome. Yeah, I like you, so yeah.
So I realized that me was limiting our growth. And I had to get humble but aggressive at the same time. Humble saying it's not about me. If I want to get big fast, I have to rely on systems and teams. Otherwise, we're going to stay small. And I realized I had to be a great follower to Andy and his staff and his system and be there first and then get other people to follow so I didn't have to do everything. I've had some people say, well, Mike, you could go somewhere else and have a higher contract. I'd go somewhere else and probably make less money because there's not a system there for me to lean on. And I didn't want a job. I wanted to build a business that could survive with or without me and where people could grow and take off and not have 100% depend on me or Noel. That's why we promote people being here at the AIT. Or we're going to be in Baltimore with Andy this weekend. We're talking to somebody, hey, that guy's in New York City. That's close to Baltimore. It's only that far away on my phone. I said, I'm sure they could get there. It's like, and so I said, get them there. I was like, so I'm just like, hey, look. So, and then next week they're in California, in Anaheim. It's like, we've got people going to be there. And then we've got the next major event here in Burlington coming up in July. Family reunion with the estate planning. It's like, we're talking about that incessantly to everybody all the time because I can't do it all.
So along those lines, I think it's Owens Mill, Maryland, where we're going to be, and we're going to start at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. And so y'all have heard of Stella, Jeremiah, Bridget, Ann. These are those people that have been killing it with the IULs. A lot of them got started in January last year and February, and they've come on and they're blowing up like crazy. A lot of them from Nigeria, a couple from Kenya, I think Ghana, and they have this like great attitude, and they're just killing it with IULs. So a lot of them are in the Maryland area. So they're going to start. We're going to do 9 o'clock. to 6 o'clock training on Saturday. So if you're interested in seeing what they're doing, you're within 3 or 4 hours. Or if we're flying in. Are y'all flying in?
Yes.
So y'all are flying in. So if you think about it, if you want to fly in Friday night and then Saturday morning get up and kick some butt, take some names, and ask a million questions, because I'm excited to hear Bridget train. Adam's Cass is telling me, he's like, hey, you just better sit back, man. She's going to be wide open, selling. He said, you probably buy another IUL listening to Bridget. So if y'all want to hang around, and then Sunday morning we're doing some training too. And they're catering in some Nigerian lunch. I mean, that's kind of what I might be. We're going up there for.
There we go.
I was talking to a guy about an hour away, Jose, and he got fired up about that part. He said, "What? They're gonna bring in catering Nigerian food?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't know what it is." I said, "Me either, but I'm fired up about it because I'm not allergic to nothing." You know what I'm talking about? I mean, God bless y'all that are. I'm ready to, you know. So I'm excited. Y'all are going to be there.
Yeah.
Katz's are coming up. Adam and Beth. I believe Emily Cardillo, I think she's coming up. Anybody else in here that's going to be, my staff's going to be there. Who else? Who's going? Faith. Who's that back in the back?
Matt and me.
Emir and Matt. And who else?
Noel and Faith.
And Noel and Faith. So we're going to have a good crowd. We're going to have a good time. We're looking for around 75, 80 people, but I wouldn't be upset if 150 or 200 people showed up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So Mike, I don't want to bring up no bad subjects, but you were a lot into the products for a while. Remember that? Trying to get really good at products?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, like, before I can get good at products, before I can go sell, before I can recruit, I want to get to know everything. Can you kind of talk to those people what your experience was when you really tried to get into it and try to learn everything? What did that do to you, and what should you have done? Like that, because there's people thinking like that.
Yeah.
And you've been through it. You've been through that dookie. You've been through that nightmare, and come out the other side. Me and Noel was cheering for you, like, come on, Mike.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, I think, so first thing is I was like, well, I don't know if I've got these other personalities, but I can learn the product better than anybody. So that was good and bad, right? The good part is, okay, I'll learn the product, I can answer product questions. Here's where it was limiting. It's like there's more value in getting somebody to move.
That's where the money is.
And as I tell people, I say, any monkey can fill out an application. It's like, but can you book an appointment and get in front of the client is the biggest thing, but then can you get someone else to get in front of a client and get them to build a relationship? And it's like anybody can figure out a product. You've seen our product reps. They're nice guys.
Oh, I'm talking about my boys.
Okay, we like. I'm
Might have
messing
one in
around.
here.
They're here, right here. I'm having fun, but they look. It's like anybody can figure out a product, but not everybody can get somebody to move. Working with people is harder than product. So I could hide behind my product knowledge, but it wasn't until I realized I let that go and realized, okay, real growth was in what am I doing to build relationships, traveling to see people, getting people to move. And so that's where the business was, and that's where it still is. I was talking to somebody today, just talking about how he's in another business of e-commerce and how he built things up and they fell apart twice. I'm just thinking, it was all around a product. It wasn't around a network of relationships with people. That's why he's rebuilding for the third time, because he didn't have a business that was built on people and an industry we can bank on, but more people and relationships. Products will come and go.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because we started out, we had one product, mortgage protection, that goes away, but we just rolled right into final expense. We never missed a beat, and then we started learning these IULs, and now that's a huge part of our product portfolio. So then when Bridget gets involved, we're already doing IUL. She just falls right in with us. And then, we've gradually been growing with annuities. Looks like we're on pace to do over $300 million in annuities this year. That's a lot of money for me. I'm like, but it's the same method for every product. Now we're doing seminars for estate planning. Same method, people skills, recruiting, get people on the phone, book them into the appointment for the estate plan, get the estate plan implemented, then look at all their problems, all their finances, and pointing out all that is exact same but different, widely different products. But our core, who we are, is people.
Right. And what we've seen is I think we'll have, by the end of this quarter, 10 legs doing estate planning seminars. But it's not because I'm a genius at estate planning. I haven't done a seminar yet. You say, we haven't? No. But guess what I've gotten good at? Understanding, helping people understand the value of estate planning, building a relationship, being a friend through the change, because for some of them it's traumatic. But there's not any one step that's difficult, and I'm not trying to teach them every step. I'm just pointing to everybody that's figured out the steps. Say, look at this, talk to this person, but the relationship and staying in touch with them through the process of growing and changing, the people skill, that's probably the harder work, because anybody can figure out the estate planning process, even you.
Congratulations to those of you that have decided to pull the trigger. Had a couple people this month have never done a seminar, and they're nervous, and they're just told all the places about it, but they're doing it anyway. They're scared and nervous and worried and doing it. That's critical. So congratulations, you guys. 10 different franchise distributions are now doing estate planning.
That's right.
Yes.
In your hierarchy.
In multiples in some legs. But 10 legs.
That's the thing. This guy's selling. Can you get another person doing a seminar? Can you get somebody on them doing a seminar? You get some of them doing a seminar. Depth in seminars.
That's right. Width and depth.
Noel, so you have Deborah Dixon here. Talk about some of the other people that you're proud of. I know Jake and Bray, and just take a chance to say hello and let everybody know who's going.
We have so many great people, Andy, coming on and just getting started, but people that have been with us and now that they're picking up steam and stuff like that. Yeah, you mentioned Jake and Bray. They're going to be junior board members this month for sure. It's locked in. And, they've got Sarah Seifert under them.
She's always got so much energy and positive input.
Yeah, and she's learning and teaching and coaching and stepping out there and traveling to her people. So she's learned that from Jake and Varay and Joseph Dukes and that whole organization. And they've got, Sherry Teal under them. So that leg is exploding. That's our number one leg right there. But I don't know for how much longer it will be.
Who's coming on?
We'll see.
Who's coming on?
We got some great people. We got Chris Manifold. You mentioned him earlier. He's a national manager now, just locked in national manager, NM. Underneath him, we've got Andrew Bayardo. Watch out for this guy. I mean, wasn't he on the call last? He was on the call last week.
We had him on here.
Watch out for him. He's exploded, leaning in, traveling, learning. He was at one of these cabin events too, right? And then we've got Brian Beasley just hit recognized DM this month, the balloon guy. But underneath him, we also have Aaron Walker hit DM, recognized this month. So you guys need to lock it in right now, okay? Lock it in. And so a lot of good people coming on. Mike was just mentioning another guy. Was he the guy that you were talking to today?
This morning?
Yeah, who's he under?
Ben and Jess Hogan found him. Ben and Jess Hogan found him, and he's got a role. His name is Josh. He's out in Alabama. Met me at a hot spot because I was traveling. They promoted the hot spot. I got to meet him. He came in from 2 hours away. And then they've got me on the phone with him, and he's fired up. He's like, okay, I get the building thing, and let's go. But just good for Ben and Jess to get him on the phone with Jake and Varay and get them to a meeting, and then to get me on the phone with him. We want to get him on the phone with you. Yeah. But just like, hey, just there's people understanding how to leverage the system more because they've come to an AIT or a cabinet event, and that's like we're having a record month this month. We will go over, I think, 1.1 million this month in volume. We're going to hit over $4 million in issued annuity volume. We'll have over 150 unique riders on the team. We're going to hit a growth record in recruiting as well. So things are firing all cylinders, not because we're genius, but because we got leaders that are showing up at these events, bringing people with them, and doing it with the intent to recruit and find one more along the way.
Yeah, that's what Josh was saying. It's like, yes, come to the events. You come to the events. That's the first thing. Come to one of these. and who am I bringing with me? And that's where you start multiplying your business, and that's the key, multiplication in leaders and stuff like that. And we had to learn that the hard way, but yeah, we're fired up.
I love it. When I had no idea Danny Johnson was lining up an estate planning seminar. So he's doing 120 committed so far. My boy Danny.
All right, Danny.
Y'all don't understand. It took me 13 years of calling this guy about every 90 days. I might sometimes be 6 months. I was just calling him up and just like, bro, you got to come with me. I want you with me. Because I was in other businesses with him that we didn't make no money. I was like, bro, we're really making money here. And I remember I was taking Haley. So Haley's 30 now. I was taking her to college. And I remember pulling up to NC State. And I was like, hey, I'm going to call my buddy Danny one more time. And so I let her out at the dorm, and we're getting her stuff out. As soon as I got it, I call him. I was like, Bo, I am getting sick and tired of telling you, you got to do this thing. And then I got his wife on the phone. I was like, let me speak to Lori. I was like, Lori, you got to get him to do this. And she started saying something to him. He come back and he said, all right. All right, y'all hear him saying that. And now my man's doing an estate planning seminar, going to change all those lives. I'm like, way to go, Danny. Everybody. Brian Beasley.
Hey, he's been around for a
while. Hot air guy. He's a hot air balloon pilot. That's his specialty. That's what he's known as. Beasley, the balloon guy. But he's been killing it with the seminars.
He's killing it with the seminars. The estate planning is really what, he's locked into that. And he's hiring, recruiting like he's never done before, man.
People looking out there, they're desperate. Solar business is struggling. A lot of different industries are struggling right now. We're just printing money. Because we're selling air. We're selling promises out of thin air. For F&G Life, you understand what I'm saying about that? It's like every business I've been in, it required you picking something up like boxes or makeup, putting makeup on somebody, or those drink products, or if you buying and selling houses, buying and selling cars. But this, we just selling a promise from Mutual of Omaha. I remember Russell tried to get me to sell insurance. I was like, how much we got to pay to sell the insurance? Because a lot of times you got to pay to do something. He said, no, you just sell it and they pay you. It's like, well, how much we got to pay for the policy? He said, no, policies are free to us. We sell them to other people. I was like, woo, how you going to go wrong with that? My only concern is if they die, do we have to pay? He said, nope. I said, 10%? No, we ain't got to pay nothing. I said, we ain't got to pay nothing. Not that I care, if they die, but I didn't want to pay nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't come out of no money. So our inventory is great. The demand for the product's great. The regulatory environment's great. We got leads. We got hot prospects. I don't know how much you want to make. So we're doing, Adam Katz, I think, is in Chicago tonight. I know he's up in Chicago. And then this weekend we're in Maryland. Is it the following weekend we're in California?
Yeah. Next week.
Next week, huh?
Yeah.
Next week. So go on, check out Alliance Seminars and
TheAllianceEvents.com.
The Alliance Events. That's a lot of letters. Mm-hmm. TheAllianceEvents.com. Click on that and it tells you all the upcoming meetings. When I'm recruiting, by the way, that's what I would do. I'd talk to a person, what's your zip code, put it in my iPad, figure out what city, and figure out what meeting coming up was near them, because I knew if I can get a new person around y'all, I'm going to make a lot more money. A lot of people don't think they get that. They go, I'm going to get my person. I'm trying to get my person as quick as possible to other people. I always think about those roller derby girls. You know what I'm saying? They were skating around. You ever seen it? That's probably y'all's problem. Y'all ain't seen roller derby before. You need to Google it and go to roller derby. These girls are skating around in a circle, and they just throw the other girl up front. You're trying to get your person up front so you can get more points. That's why I try to go, hey, Cherish, you talk to him. Hey, Big Mike, you talk to him. Hey, Maria, you talk to him. I don't know what they're saying. You explain it to them. And just move them around, because if I can get people around y'all, I know I got them, because they're going to like one of y'all. They might not like you or you or you, but they love you and you and you. They seeking around. They're looking for people that like them and people that like them.
Right.
And so that's why I'm trying to get them to the meetings. And I think y'all figured that out more and more. And better, you're getting duplicated. Your team's doing the same thing.
Duplication, yeah.
Guys, this has been a crazy good event. It's and you know, I'll say this to tell y'all this. I was expecting out about 20 people. I said, we're going to have 2 good ones. Because a lot of times when I go in the city, if there's 20 or 30 people, it'd be like 1 or 2 good ones. And so I was thinking, we got 20 people. We're probably going to have 2 good ones. And the rest of them, I'm just going to have to pretend like I like, hey, you know. But I forgot. These are all people that sacrifice time away from their doggies and kitty cats and home and couch and television and mamas. Lord help y'all, your mamas and your spouses, you know, and $300. And I'm like, these are committed people.
They are.
And so I've been really
Mike's got
impressed
a-
with every single one of y'all.
Mike's got a T-shirt idea.
Oh, yeah. We're going to ask Josh's mama if it's okay. Ask Josh's mama if it's okay.
Those T-shirts will be coming out.
She's watching too.
And she's like, I'm famous. I'm Joshua's mom. Get her come to family reunion. Yeah. Get her come to family reunion. Hey, Mama, you invited to the family reunion. Hey, guys, we got to get back to the intense training without y'all. We appreciate y'all plugging in for a few minutes with us. We got to get back to it. Hey, also, after dinner night, we talking about recruiting. I got a surprise for you. Like it's going to be something interesting. It wasn't on the calendar, and so we'll just have your mind right. We'll eat. We'll have a little fun, but then we're going to go do something real quick, if that's cool with y'all. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you plugging in. Let's do this thing. Woo! Peace out.